It's not for style. It's not just for extra seats. That curious bulge on the Queen of the Skies holds a secret from the early days of jet aviation, a time when Boeing thought the future belonged to supersonic aircraft. The Hump wasn't designed for passengers. It was part of a bold plan to make the 747 the ultimate cargo hauler. And yet, this one design choice accidentally made the 747 the most recognizable plane in history. This is the real story behind the Hump. When the Boeing 747 was first imagined in the 1960s, no one, not even Boeing, thought it would define air travel for generations. In fact, the company didn't expect it to last long in the passenger market at all. Back then, the world was obsessed with speed. Supersonic passenger jets like the Concorde and the planned American SST were seen as the future. Governments and airlines believed that subsonic airliners, like the 707 and DC-8, were already outdated, and that within a decade, everything would be flying faster than sound. Boeing knew this. And so, when they began working on what would become the 747, they designed it with a different future in mind, a cargo-driven one. The thinking was simple. Once supersonic jets took over passenger routes, airlines would need massive freighters to carry cargo across the globe. Boeing saw an opportunity to build the world's largest and most capable freighter, a jet that could haul enormous loads over long distances. So, the 747 was born as a freighter first and a passenger plane second. This decision shaped everything about the aircraft, especially its most unusual feature, the hump. Cargo planes need easy loading, especially for oversized freight. That's why many military cargo aircraft, like the C-5 Galaxy, have a nose that swings upward to allow large cargo to be loaded straight into the fuselage. Boeing wanted the same feature for the 747. But there was a problem. If the entire nose opened up, where would you put the cockpit? The answer was radical: raise it. Instead of placing the flight deck at the front of the fuselage, Boeing built a small upper deck above it, high enough that the nose could still hinge upward below. This gave the aircraft its famous hump. It wasn't for looks, it wasn't for passengers, it was all about freight. What Boeing didn't expect was that this strange design would become a global icon. Not because of cargo, but because airlines would fall in love with the idea of putting premium passengers upstairs. But in the beginning, the hump was pure function. A bold, practical solution for a future Boeing thought was inevitable. And they were wrong, in the best possible way.
Boeing built the hump for cargo, but airlines quickly saw an entirely different use for it, one that Boeing hadn't originally intended. Once the 747 entered commercial service in 1970, it stunned the world. It could carry over 400 passengers, fly farther than any jet before it, and made long-haul travel more affordable than ever. But there was still that odd little upstairs space behind the cockpit, and airlines needed to figure out what to do with it. The original upper deck was tiny. Just a few seats wide, it couldn't hold many passengers. But what it lacked in size, it made up for in exclusivity. Airlines began turning it into lounges, cocktail bars, and quiet retreats for first-class travelers. Some featured sofas, mood lighting, even pianos. It was the golden age of air travel, and the hump became its crown. To passengers, flying on the upper deck felt like being in a private jet. You boarded separately. It was quieter, more spacious, and far from the crowds below. The hump, originally meant to solve a cargo loading problem, had become a luxury status symbol. Over time, as demand for premium travel grew, Boeing redesigned the upper deck to hold more seats. Later versions of the 747, like the -300 and -400, featured a stretched hump with a full-length business-class cabin. What started as a quirky engineering fix was now prime real estate in the sky. But not all 747s used the upper deck for passengers. Boeing stuck to its original cargo vision too. The freighter variants, like the 747-400F and 747-8F, kept the hump strictly functional. In those jets, the entire nose still opens up to allow huge cargo to slide in, just as Boeing had intended decades earlier. So, two identities emerged. On one hand, the 747 was the glamorous flagship of global airlines, with a hump full of champagne and leather seats. On the other, it was the workhorse of the cargo world, hauling engines, horses, satellites, and everything in between. Either way, the Hump served its purpose, whether carrying VIPs or 70 tons of freight. And through it all, it became one of the most recognizable silhouettes in aviation history. Next time you see a 747, remember, that Hump wasn't meant to be iconic, it just turned out that way. While the upper deck of the Boeing 747 became famous for luxury, the aircraft never forgot its original mission: hauling cargo. And as the years went on, the freighter versions of the 747 proved to be just as iconic as the passenger models, if not more important. Unlike most passenger jets, the 747 freighter could load enormous items through its nose, thanks to that unique raised cockpit. This gave it a superpower no other commercial aircraft had. While others loaded from side doors, the 747 could swallow cars, turbines, military vehicles, even entire helicopters straight through the front. This wasn't just a clever feature, it was a logistical revolution. The 747 became the backbone of global cargo fleets, operated by logistics giants like UPS, Atlas Air, and Cargolux. It flew everything from emergency medical supplies to priceless artwork, and during the COVID-19 pandemic, it played a critical role in delivering vaccines and equipment around the world. Even as airlines began retiring their passenger 747s in favor of more fuel-efficient twin-engine jets like the 777 and A350, the freighter versions continued flying strong. In fact, Boeing kept building them all the way until 2023, when the final 747, a 747-8F, rolled out of the factory in Everett, Washington. That aircraft went straight to Atlas Air, and yes, it had the Hump. In the end, the design choice made over 50 years earlier, to raise the cockpit so the nose could open, is what kept the 747 relevant in a world that moved on from four-engine passenger giants. The Hump, once a cargo-first compromise, had become a lasting advantage. And let's not forget its cultural legacy. The silhouette of the 747, with that smooth upper deck and powerful presence, became a symbol of the jet age. Presidents flew in it. Rock stars toured the world in it. Aviation lovers still stop and stare when they see one at the gate. The Boeing 747 wasn't just a plane, it was a turning point in aviation history, and the Hump, odd, elegant, functional, was at the heart of it all. As the final queen of the skies took to the air, the message was clear. The Hump wasn't a mistake, it was a masterpiece.
There are plenty of airplanes that broke records. Some were faster. Some flew farther. Some carried more people. But none of them had a hump like the 747. And none of them changed the world the way it did. The Boeing 747 wasn't just a new aircraft, it was a leap in scale, ambition, and thinking. It opened the skies to the masses, made international travel feel normal, and gave airlines a canvas to create luxury in the clouds. That raised upper deck, originally designed out of sheer necessity, became the most iconic shape in commercial aviation. But more than its looks, the Hump tells a deeper story. A story about risk, innovation, and unintended genius. Boeing didn't set out to make a beautiful plane. They set out to make a practical one. A cargo jet with a clever loading system and just enough flexibility to carry passengers in the short term. They were preparing for a supersonic future that never came. And yet, by solving one technical problem, where to put the cockpit so the nose could open, Boeing accidentally gave birth to a legend. That decision shaped how airlines configured cabins, how passengers experienced long-haul travel, and how aviation evolved in the decades that followed. The Hump wasn't about aesthetics, but it gave the 747 a silhouette that kids could draw from memory. It became a symbol of the modern world, of global reach, of power, of dreams made real through engineering. Now, as the last 747s are phased out of passenger service, their cargo cousins will keep flying for years to come. The Hump will still be out there, crossing oceans at night, moving goods we never think about but always rely on. Quietly, reliably, gracefully. So next time you see one, whether in the air, at a museum, or just in an old photo, look at that Hump and remember, it wasn't added for style. It wasn't built for luxury. It was made to solve a problem. And in solving it, Boeing accidentally created the most legendary aircraft of all time. The Hump wasn't supposed to matter, but it ended up meaning everything.
The Boeing 747 didn't just fly, it defined what flight looked like for half a century. And that Hump, it became the crown of a queen. It started as a workaround, a smart solution for cargo logistics. Nothing flashy, nothing fancy. But like many great designs, it took on a life of its own. It shaped experiences, expectations, even dreams. The 747 wasn't meant to be a passenger icon. It became one. The Hump wasn't meant to be beautiful, but it became unforgettable. Today, we live in a different aviation world. Quieter, more efficient, more digital, but nothing will ever quite match the presence of a 747 rolling down the runway, its upper deck rising like a wave in the sky. The last of them may be flying now, or landing for good. But the legacy is locked in photos, in memories, and in every wing-shaped drawing a kid ever sketched with a little bump at the top. So next time you look up and see a silhouette that doesn't quite match the sleek jets of today, you'll know. That's not just a plane. That's the plane. The queen. The legend. The Hump that changed everything.